conversations around Nigeria in the past 24 hours. The National Youth Service Corps, that has been on the lips of many Nigerians, particularly in line with this recent call or the review by the Senate over its use and probably scrapping. We'll take our next conversation from that as we get on to 10 o'clock mark. We'll be talking about your children. Early start for children will be our conversation later on this morning. And our big conversation this morning, money lenders, borrowers. Growing up, it was very, 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 very dangerous for people to get into bed with such individuals. But we'll be telling you a story and also bringing you some of the latest trends, particularly in our economy, concerning money lenders, what we have always known in this part of the world as money borrowers. That's our conversation lineup today. The midday news comes up at the midday news, as always, will come up at 12 o'clock, and then that's how we wrap our conversation this morning with on Hello Port Harcourt. Once again, my name is Jude. Now let's delve straight into the thick of the matter this morning. I'd like to welcome you and remind you always, when you call us, please do well to turn down the volume of your radio set. And if you cannot get through us by telephone, please send us messages. I will give you the numbers shortly. Welcome once again to 92.3 Nigeria Info. My name is Jude. Good morning.
This is 92.3 Nigeria Info, the only place where talk is not cheap.
So I'm very sure you've all heard, or most people have heard, about the story making the rounds in the past 24 hours. I have a conversation about it. Some people try to get their views on the subject matter, and totally understandable. It's been met with a lot of mixed views and reviews in the past 24 hours. Now, it's not the first time that we've heard certain quarters of Nigeria asking for something to be done concerning the National Youth Service Corps program. It's not the very first time. In fact, if I'm very honest, as far back as 2011, there were cries from certain quarters that they wouldn't want their sons or their daughters to be involved in the Youth Service Corps program, because some have argued that it is a complete waste of time. Now, you can't compare 2011 to 2021, a 10-year gap, a decade, and now more than ever, we are getting to hear more stories about kidnaps and all of those things, and the security challenges across the Federation is probably making this conversation even more pertinent now than it was a decade ago. However, it still does not mean that something as successful, some would argue, something as inclusive as the National Youth Service Corps should just be dumped because one or two things have not been going on properly for people or for the country in general. So, quick history. The National Youth Corps was a program, or is a program, still on. It's a program set up by the Nigerian government to involve Nigerian graduates. Emphasis here on Nigerian graduates in nation building and the development of the country. One of my fondest pictures as a child was going through the photo album in my house and getting to see a picture of my father whilst he was serving. I have to say, as a young child then, I didn't quite see any difference between my father back then when he was in uniform, parading on the grounds, marching on the grounds, and the man I was seeing at that point in time. Not much different. Full head of beard, chest-filled hair, open chest, walking around the place like he owned the freaking house. Well, he did own the freaking house. But anyway, moving away from that. Now, since 1973, graduates of universities and later polytechnics have been required to take part in the National Youth Service Corps program for at least 1 year. Yes, I say at least because there are scenarios where if you falter, if you don't meet up your primary place of assignment regularly, if you default, you could be given an extension. That is known as the National Service Year. National Service Year. Now, Nigeria does not have a military conscription. We don't have that in this country. But the youth service year, apart from being created to foster unity and everything, was a period where you have some paramilitary training. Those of you who have gone through youth service here, you would know that it is the soldiers who are in charge of the camps or the service camps for that 1 year. For that 3 weeks, right? I think it's 3 weeks, right?